Well, the bolts turn to be out 5/16 UNC. Look what gunk is coming out there. I think that's sealant. Can't remember that. So we just go through all the threads here just to make sure they're all good. And then we use some, it almost feels like Loctite. Don't know what that is. Whatever. We're gonna use some blue sealant and just seal them in. That's the plug hole, the top one. I couldn't get a tap in further. Some of the other ones are not, so always check if it's plug or open. If it's open, you need to seal it. Also, while wet, always check the bottom hose. If there is, I don't know if it's visible on camera, there is a spring inside, and if the spring isn't there, the hose may suck flat and you will have overheating problems and all sorts of weird things. It's a stainless spring, but I've seen these disappearing or missing or whatever. Anyway, we're gonna run the taps through here and then we should be done. So we fitted the old tube to the new pump. It's a pipe thread, so it's conical, so you just whack it in until it binds. I put a bit of Teflon on it, make sure it's okay. I test fitted it to make sure the pipe is in the right position. Now we put some sealant on and just whack it back in. Well, apparently the gasket is fitting to more than one vehicle. That ear is useless. Doesn't fit the other way around either, so that's gotta go. The biggest challenge was actually finding a 5/8 UNC bolt. I have one. It was a bit longer. It's actually a stainless. So we put that into the water hole, which is the leftmost one. Should prevent it from rusting, and we need to put a lot of sealant on that. Yeah, took me about half an hour to find the bolt. Anyway, we got one now, and yeah, put some sealant on, put the pump back in. So we got it set. What we do on the bolt with the through hole, I put an O-ring here and put some extra sealant there. Hopefully it's not leaking out or not, but that O-ring should stop it actually. It's only that one, the other ones are plug holes, so shouldn't harm. The most right hand one is a longer bolt, all the other ones got the same length. And then just put them back in and that's it. Don't need to show that, it's just putting bolts in. Before you tighten up, make sure it sits properly in the register, otherwise you damage it. You can easily check it by just looking down here, and if that looks all good, it's okay. So our pipe looks okay. So we tighten the bolts up and now we leave that drying overnight because it's late. Dinner time. Carry on tomorrow. We replaced that one with a stainless one. Need to put that back on it. Tomorrow we're going to make a gasket for that one because we don't have one. We need to clean it first. Alright, reassembly is tomorrow. So we gave this one a rub on the surface plate. and as expected, I could see light through with a straight edge. So if you take it like that, like so, put a straight edge over it, and you can see the light in the middle. So all we did was just rubbing it over some sandpaper on the surface plate. Sorry, it's a bit dark here. I decided not to mill it because it's ugly to work hold. There's no flat surface and you can't use the bolt holes. So I'd rather not do it this way. I just rub it on the sandpaper until it's flattened. Then I'll check it on the little surface plate if it's trading okay, and then it should be good. Interestingly, the thermostat, the new thermostat, hasn't got a hole, so we need to drill a hole at the top to get the air out when the thermostat is closed. It came with a whole bunch of gaskets, but none fits. So maybe for all sorts of cars, but and the thermostat is probably a universal one. But we need to make one. Alright, let's rub that thing down to make it sealing okay. We took the sensor out, clean it a little bit. Okay, yeah, we just rub it down on the sandpaper until it's flat, and then we'll check it on this one. Alright, and we can see it's a typical wear pattern from over tightened bolts here, because there's nothing here, but it's threading here quite well. So we're almost there, a little bit to go. So we rubbed it flat. There's only oil in the plate here, and we can see there's an oil film everywhere. I blowed it with a Sharpie and rubbed it over the plate. It looked okay as well. Can't get my Prussian blue at the moment, but I'm happy with that. So we're gonna make a gasket and put it back into the car. So we got our surface clean. Important to make that recess clean as well, because that's where the thermostat sits. We drilled a little hole in our thermostat here. That goes to the top to get the air out. We got that one clean. We got a new gasket here. So we're gonna soak that in sealant and put it back. So to hold the thermostat in place, just put a dab of sealant there. The thermostat has to go in before the gasket, because it sits actually on the edge of the thermostat and holds it in. So that's going to go in first. Make sure your hole is at the top so the air can come out, and we're ready to put it back. Here we go the other side. With that silicone sealant, don't use thick layers, it's just it needs a little bit. And it's got a relatively long cure time, so gives you a bit of time to work with. Okay, let's put that back. So we got it all back together. Don't forget to tighten those clips down there, and make sure you're not fouling the belt with something. It's okay here, but if you got a big pulley you may have an issue here. I don't have that pulley anymore, but yeah, should be okay, and it's much more convenient than those snap things here. They're okay up there because you can get there, but at the bottom they're just a pain. Alright, let's get the water pump pulley back and the idler. Put a new belt on, fill it up with water. We need to fit the sensor, and then we should be done. Before you put the pulley back, just put a dab of grease, just a little film of grease on the boss here. That prevents it from rusting. I've done the same here, just a little film of grease so it doesn't rust, because it's all iron. Alright, let's get the pulley back. So we got everything back together. The belt is fairly tensioned. The belt needs to spin a few turns and to settle, and then we're going to check the tension again. We topped up the coolant. There will be a lot of air bubbles coming out. and secured that one here so it doesn't come down to the fan. The fan is disconnected so it doesn't spin over there. Alright, let's fire it up. Okay, I can't see any big leaks with no pressure, so let's fire it up and see what it does. No tools around. Okay. We find the key. When you refill the coolant, always make sure that the heater is fully open so you get the air out. That grinding noise is the bearing of my aircon clutch. I got a new compressor, I just need to change it. The reason why I got a new compressor is because that was cheaper than the whole clutch. So that's got 155,000 miles as well, so why not changing it? Until you get all the bubbles out and then check the water level again after you do the test drive and everything should be fine. That's going to be boring, we're not going to film that. You don't need to worry if there is any air left or not. You look here, it bubbles out via the lead line here, and if you do a few cycles it just all you need to do is keep that full here. If that's empty, you're sucking in air. We've got it warm now, so that means we got pressure. Can't see any leaks, especially down there. No more leaks. That's fulfilling. Thermostat seems to work. It sits about where it always sits. I have no fans running, so that's good to me. Well, looks like a success, and that's what I mean. As we can see, the belt lost a little bit of tension because it was a brand new belt, so all you need to do is just crank it up a little bit, and you can turn it 90 degrees, it's fine. So we'll leave that this way. Then don't forget to tighten this one here. I need to get a spanner for that. Okay, the rest is boring reassembly. Get the fans in and yeah, do a bit of cleanup. There's a bolt missing here because I had to remove it to get a bit of clearance in the aircon lines. Everything looks okay so far. I can't see any leaks. We'll see how it looks when it's cold. I can smell the stinking sealant here, silicone based sealant that stinks a little bit, but yeah, the heater is getting warm, that's getting warm as well. We've got 85 degrees here, so well, got a new water pump, new belt, and we did that one, and that was my biggest worry, that this leaks, because this is such a pain to get it tight, but apparently it worked well. Alright, that's it from the water pump change. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, until next time.